Hi everyone, so I wanted to do a little video of my own on watering. Now again, lots and lots of videos online about watering, and apologies if there's any noises and things. There's various things going on around the garden today and in my neighbour's garden, so there may be some background noise, so I do apologise. So some watering techniques and tips. So first of all, for eagle-eyed viewers in the background, this is going to the dump today because it's stuff I've had for years and needs to disappear. So I was doing some watering this morning. Let me just put this pipe down just now. And when I was in the garden, when I looked out this morning, there was a lot of brown patches over here and also here. Now, a couple of factors can be at play here to get these kind of brown patches, and again I'm just going to stand a little bit out of the wind so that I'm not picking up wind noise. But this area here and some of this over here can be two things. It can be heat stress, and it has been pretty dry for the last 5 or 6 days and quite warm as well here in Scotland. Yippee. But the second factor can be this tree as well. So this tree does have quite a shallow rooting system, so again, just below the surface of the soil you'll be getting the roots, and the roots might be taking some of the moisture away from this grass. So it's really important that you stay on top of it, especially if you've got very mature trees like this. And again, if I go up here, it's a pretty large tree that we've got here. It's protected as well, so I have no way of taking it down. Otherwise I would incur a large fee for that, fine. So I have to work with what I've got. So again, staying on top of the watering, and watering is really important because what you've got to think about, right, is grass, again, as I've said in some of my other videos, is a living organism. Think about it like a human being, right? If you don't get water as a human being, if you get parched, you get maybe dry lips, dry skin, etc. It's the same for grass. Grass is exactly the same. What you need to remember is, because it's a living organism, it needs to be fed. It needs to have good quality food, good quality vitamins, supplements, etc. And the most important thing is water, whether it's from, hoses, tap water, or from nature. Now, I would prefer it to be nature, because obviously nature's full of nutrients that the water has taken up as it's gone up into the clouds, and then it comes back down and gives us all those healthy supplements into our grass surface. But again, really important that when it comes to dealing with things like this, that you stay on top of the watering. Even if you know it's going to rain, like I know it's going to rain tomorrow, it's going to rain quite heavily here in the afternoon, you still need to stay on top of, yeah, that's our neighbour's dog, stay on top of the watering that you have, so that you don't end up with patches of dryness. Now, this looked considerably worse about an hour ago before I watered it, and it's really starting to come up now. So I'm getting the green coming back in the lawn, and it can be pretty much instant. Now you can see a heavy watering around. Now, what you need to do in order to do watering is, if your grass is semi-mature, now this is 8 weeks old or so, it needs watering maybe 2 to 3 times a week, or as many times as you feel comfortable doing, but it needs to be deeply watered so that the water goes into the root system and gives you that ability for the plant to absorb all that energy. And if the grass is a deep rooting system, then it's a stronger grass. It's going to be giving you a lot more potential. But if your grass starts going crispy or dry or whatever, and none of the water can get down into the root system, then again that's going to lead to problems. And when I mentioned in my other video the other day there about wetting agents, if you find that you're watering and it's not breaking the surface tension, then add a wetting agent in first. So spray down a wetting agent and then leave it a little while and then water in. And what you'll end up with is, again, the ability to get the water down into the root zone. So that's the important thing, is just remember to water consistently. Now, as I said, I've been kind of moving things around here and going and showing you some videos. Excuse the noise as I walk on the stones. But I used to have hose lock. Still do. I've still got 1 or 2 lawns that are hose lock. Birds are cheeping away there. But I recently upgraded to Gardena products, and they're rock solid. I also had 13mm hose before. This hose here is 19mm, so it's very thick hose. I have a 15mm outlet coming out the wall here. Now there's potential that I'm going to upgrade that to probably maybe 22mm, something like that, because in my mains water that comes in is coming off of a 25mm incoming HDPE water pipe. So I know that I've got the pressure as well. It's quite a high pressure system, but this water that comes out of here is regulated by a pressure regulator. So I could technically put it on the other side of the pressure regulator and get even more pressure, but then probably would have to dial it down a little bit. So I've got a plumber out and coming out to have a look at that to see if we can increase the water pressure just a little bit to benefit these larger diameter pipes. So I've got one that goes down here, along here, all the way up there, behind the shed, and then it comes out over the top here, and you can see it running along here. Now that water pipe there waters this flower bed up the top, and it waters the beds along the back, and then it waters the back edge of the grass. And then if I come down here, I've got a hose reel on the wall. Now it's one of the few things I really like, these Gardenas. The Gardena products they're one of the few, and I'm saying this in generals because I know that there is a number of options available in the market, but for bang for buck and what it can do, this hose reel is fantastic. It's about £55, £60 on Amazon, depending on offers and things. But this one here allows you to put, I think, 35 metres of 19mm hose onto this reel. Now, I've got the hose guide, and Gardena stopped making these, which I find really annoying. They're absolutely fantastic. Don't understand why they've stopped making them, because they're great. That's a call out to Gardena. Can you please start making these, because the only way to get access to these things is to buy something like this, which seems a bit pointless when your stuff is slightly better than everyone else's. So this is good from a cost perspective, because you can get ones from like Gecko, for example. Gecko's like the go-to brand for professional gardeners and etc. To have large bore pipe and big big connectors, fast quick clip connectors, etc. But they also have these great hose reels that can go in the wall that are made of metal, but like this one at £60 that holds my hose reels. The ones that Gecko make are like £200 or £300. So if you're really into your gardening and you like that kind of stuff, and you want to put like 1-inch pipe on there with heavy duty large capacity valves, then go for the Gecko one. It's a really good quality brand, but for me, as an intermediate step potentially to go to Gecko in future, this is perfect for me. So I've got one here and one round the side of the garden round here. So this pipe here goes all the way along, and this is one that I use for watering the front edges of the garden. So all this area here, the middle plantation, flower beds, etc. Again, this is something that my dad and I built at the early days of COVID. So again, good project to get our teeth into. So this pipe runs all the way along here, all the way down, and I use it to either water this side, and some noises coming on in the background, sorry about that, but to water this side. And I have another pipe, you can see it's got a connector there. That's a metal connector into a valved Gardena connector that then takes all the way along here and all the way along the back edge there. So I connect this hose to that connector over there, and that provides the water then I can use to water all of the flower beds, the back edges of the grass, etc. So again, really important to do that. If you come around here, you can start to see, got my little power supply there, but this is my second reel, and this one does my front garden, which is through that gate. This is a 25 metre reel, and there's a connector at the back that I can take my hose that's down there, run it along here, and then bring it up, connect it in, and then I've got a 25 metre I can do the front garden with. So that goes through there and off to there. So really important to think about watering. As I said, these pipes are absolutely fantastic. The only thing I would say about them is if you go from a 13mm to a 19mm hose, the weight difference is significant. So if you're a lady or an older person or whatever, it could be a little bit of a difficulty to pull it around the garden. So you can go down to a smaller bore hose that's bigger than 13 but smaller than 19, so you could use a 15mm hose. That would give you relatively decent pressure as well. But remember, when you think about it, right, the bigger the capacity of the pipe, and the bigger the amount of water flow that you have coming in to your hose from your main supply, the better that you're going to be able to push water out over a further distance and get coverage across your garden. So what do I use to water my garden? Probably the two things that most people will have are these two things. So a multifunction head. So as I said, I've still got some hose lock stuff. Gardena make a version of this, but to be honest, I don't actually think it's as good as this. The Gardena one's metal, again like this, but and it has a plastic handle like this. But I just quite like the hose lock version because it's adjustable, so you can move the handle and you can put it back down, and you can adjust different sprays onto the garden. And then the second one is I have a Gardena oscillating sprinkler, which is what this is. Now this is really good. In fact, I might give it a wee review. So what's good about it is, again, there's the noises in the background, sorry about that. I think someone's getting posts put in. So this is a filter based quick connector from Gardena. It's their medium aqua zoom product. It's got a little adjustment here which is just fantastic. So if you plug this in a conventional one of these devices, what ends up happening is if you don't get out of the way fast enough, you're going to get showered across it. So this little adjustment hole wand part here is, if you turn it that way, that's it down low, and the water just comes out like a wee dribble. And then if you turn this, as you're turning this towards the centre, it then gets more powerful and more powerful and more powerful. These two parts here, if you move that one to the right and that one to the left, that basically controls the angle of what it then does like this. So you can actually narrow down the focus of it. Now, I always have it in the middle like that, and you wonder why I do that. Because I stand and water my garden using this, because this can push the water out a good distance. So I can stand on this part here and I can reach on the other side of this hatch over here. So it's quite good for that. And then lastly, it's also got these things here which adjust these little tiny hose pipes that basically sprays the water out, but it creates a bigger arc. So if I was to, sorry about that, if I was to move that round like this, if you look at if you watch these little things here, you'll see that some of them are slotted. They're in a wee tiny slot here across the board. And if I go over to this thing here and press this, you'll see that they go angled across. So you can see that these are now angled that way. So they've angled like that. Same on the other side, if I was to move that over, that would angle that way. And that then creates a much bigger arc that you can then reach from left to right. So it's a really good thing to have, and I would suggest that you give it a try. What's nice about it is it's very durable. Even though this is plastic, these are like rubber, so they get less likely to get gunked up with anything. And then on the back of it, it's got like a metal bar here and stand that helps to sit it up in the grass. You've also got these things here, these bits here and over here, and the same on the other side as well. This allows you, if you wanted to, you could have this permanently stationed in your grass, and you could put a stake in there, a metal stake that would hold it onto the ground and stop it from moving around in the wind. The only problem with that is, obviously, if the grass grows, it's going to then grow underneath this, and you're going to have grass coming through here, etc. So I tend not to use that. But these are the tools I use for my watering. Gardena, great brand, very durable, high quality. My hose lock wand here, again, I use that, and that's handy for things like hanging baskets, etc. that you've got that are in the garden. And then I've got my pipe here. So again, if I come up here, you can see here, this is quite a heavy duty pipe. So you can see next to my hand, or my thumb, it's nearly the width of my thumb, 19 mil or so. These are metal, so metal protectors, so if you happen to drop that on the floor, it's not going to damage the plastic part here. It's going to hit this metal part first before it goes down, so it's really good for that. Again, really high quality. As you see, if I just drop that, it's hitting the metal first rather than hitting the plastic component, so it protects the device. That's a stop. You can get through versions, and you can also get valved versions that you can close or reduce the water down if you're needing to reduce your pressure. So that's my choice. There's lots and lots of other choices in the marketplace. Again, have a look at them, do your research, and pick what's appropriate for you in your garden. But as you can see, it's been watered. It's already changed colour since I did it. When I did it this morning, it was kind of hazy brown patches, etc. The next thing to do is, before it rains tomorrow, is to put down some granulated feed, because I've now got to the point where I think it's running out on the grass. The stuff that I put down at the second last week of June. So it's been down for about 6 weeks, so it's really starting to need a feed. So that's going to be down next, and then I'm going to get down my range of Mr. Hibbert's liquid products and get that down on the grass to give it probably its final boost before we start heading into the early autumn, and I start to think about what I'm going to be doing for my autumn parts of my grass. So finishing on my little lacer here, and my beautiful dahlias that are just absolutely stunning. Every time I come out, I just have a smile. It's such a nice thing to look at. But hopefully you like what you see. My hydrangea is starting to come out. Maybe if I take a wee walk over there just now, we can have a look at it. And you can start to see the colours here. It's just spectacular, is it not? All the flowers in different parts of maturing stages. So I've got sort of purple ones here, and then if I come over here, you'll see the white ones on this flower as well, on this hydrangea. Slightly different species, but if you have a look here, it's just, look at that one. That's just stunning, is it not? Again, this has been a little bit of an upgraded tour of the garden, and again, the piping as I've been using, as you can see here. Maybe just come and show you this quickly so you can see it. So this is the valved connector I talked about, so you can see there that that's in the direction of the water flow, and if you want to turn it, you can just turn it a different direction and shut it off, isolate it. So just turn that like that, and that turns the water off. Now you can see, for eagle-eyed viewers, there is a hose lock connector in there that's metal. That's really good quality actually, and I use that. And hose lock and Gardena are fully compatible, so you can get the benefits of both worlds. Hose lock are the only ones I could find that I knew of. I know there's a couple of others like Kleber and things like that that sell these connectors, but as it happens, Gardena doesn't sell a metal connector like this, so I'm using the really good quality. Again, if I just disconnect it here, you'll see the good quality hose lock, stainless steel. It's just fantastic. Works a treat. So just reconnect that up. Better do this freehand here. There we go. So looking good as well. But in future, as I said, I'm going to be running a pipe all the way along here up to the far edge, and then all the way sort of stopping here, probably maybe just behind this white thing over here. And that's going to provide me with my water connections, and I'll have valved connections like one here and then one down there that I can turn on and connect like one of these pipes up, and then I can water in different areas as appropriate. So yeah, everything's looking a wee bit better after it's water, I have to say. It's looking a lot greener, and yeah, the garden's starting to come together. Good thing is, when I walk on the grass, my footprints are disappearing as I'm going, which is a great sign that you've got enough in your water in your grass. There is some not nice to have grass that I've started creeping in. I've got some weed grasses that have started appearing here, but I'm going to be getting, as I said, I'm waiting for my verticutter to come, and hopefully that's going to allow me to cut into the sward a wee bit and just clear out some stuff and make this a little bit better. So yeah, well, that's it, I think, for now. Everything looking good, looking healthy. Got the flowers coming through here, and the clematis, lovely purples. There's another one over here. Have a look away over here. I've got the lovely purples coming through here. I've got lovely nice flowers developing here. This is here. We only planted this in June, and it was this height in June, and it's grown all the way up here to the top. So this is jasmine. It looks quite nice. Lovely flowers in this little basket, and then this is a clematis, and it's very, very delicate looking, but you can see the beautiful flowers that we've got here. So some lovely flowers coming through, very pretty. So that's my update for today about watering, a wee bit more about the garden, so you can see a little bit more of it. Yeah, I will get something to cover that because I don't like it and it annoys me, so that's something to do. But yeah, starting to look good again. Just keep on top of the watering, guys, and hopefully with that in mind, I will sign off for the day, and then on my next video I'll make an introduction to myself, and hopefully we can start having a chat about gardening, and you can ask me any questions you might have about things, and then we can take it from there. Okay guys, have a fantastic day and a weekend ahead when it comes, and happy gardening. Cheers.